Hi, my name is Michael O'Donnell, and I'm a junior in Marquette's Applied Investment Management program. And this Friday, February 11th, I will be pitching MasTec Inc., ticker MTZ on the New York Stock Exchange with a price target of $126.59, representing a 42.71% upside. Company overview. MasTec Inc. is a diversified industrial company that engineers, builds, installs, and maintains energy and communications infrastructure. MTZ is separated into five operating segments. Communications, which was 39.7% of fiscal year 2020 revenues, provides services for wireline/fiber and wireless infrastructure, as well as installed to the home consumers. Oil and gas, 28.4%, serves the energy and utilities industry through pipeline and processing facilities. Clean energy and infrastructure, 24.2%, provides energy generation facilities for resources such as solar, wind, and biomass, as well as civil infrastructure for roads, bridges, etc. Electrical transmission, 8%, provides services for electrical transmission lines and substations. Other, which was less than 0.1% is where miscellaneous services fall. MTZ produced 97.9% of fiscal year 2020 revenues in the United States, 1.2% in Canada, and 0.9% in Mexico. MTZ was founded in 1994 and is headquartered in Coral Gables, Florida. MTZ's history of positioning itself in growing markets can be traced back to when the founder of Church and Tower, the predecessor to MTZ, Jorge Mascanosa, identified the need for dependable telecommunications infrastructure in South Florida due to the rapid growth in the late 1960s. MTZ has stayed true to this founding vision as they have continued to place strategic investments in operations that have promising growth prospects. These principles have resulted in diluted earnings per share to grow at a 24.3% CAGR over the past 6 years and a record $8.6 billion in 18-month backlog. This backlog is the outcome of several industry developments. The first is the result of communication companies preparing for the rapid adoption of 5G usage, smart cities, and smart homes. In 2021, it was estimated that 12.5% of wireless connections were using 5G, and that rate is expected to grow to 45% by 2025. It is also evidence of the energy transition that the United States is currently experiencing and will continue forward as it shifts to creating energy in a more sustainable manner. The missing piece to these puzzles is that the U.S. power grid is outdated. The Department of Energy stated that 70% of U.S. power transformer and transmission lines are older than 25 years. These electrical grids need to be updated to handle the changing energy needs and outdoor elements, defend against hackings, and increase reliability. MTZ acquired Intren LLC and Henkels & McCoy to strengthen their electrical transmission segment to capture this increase in spending. Pair all of this with the recently passed infrastructure bill, and MTZ is in an excellent position to achieve strong top and bottom line performance. It is recommended that MTZ be added to the AIM Small Cap Fund with a price target of $126.59 per share, representing a 42.71% upside. Driver number 1, government spending. On November 15, 2021, President Biden signed a $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. This marks the largest federal infrastructure investment in more than 10 years. Included in this legislation is spending on construction and for the repair of roads and bridges, as well as broadband expansion and updating of the power grid. These portions of the bill alone are valued at $240 billion. The U.S. has other initiatives, such as the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund and 5G Fund for Rural America, which will supply $20 billion and $9 billion respectively in funding over the upcoming decade to further broadband speeds and create access in rural America. MTZ has a 9.6% market share of the wireless tower construction market. This spending by the government will also incentivize private sector spending, bringing more opportunity for MTZ to boost its top line. Driver number 2, clean energy. A total of 38 states in the District of Columbia have set renewable portfolio standards requiring 100% clean energy by 2050. Additionally, many companies have announced plans to greatly reduce their carbon footprint or to become net carbon neutral. Firms in the industrial and power space have looked to renewable energies such as wind, solar, and biofuel to power their plants. This conversion or construction of plants to run on these energies or through small standalone generation facilities is a substantial opportunity for MTZ. By 2050, it is projected that wind/solar energy will account for 81% of renewable energy generated, and renewables will produce 42% of the electricity generated in the U.S. Currently, wind/solar energy and renewables account for 56% and 21%, respectively. MTZ's energy and infrastructure segment has grown at a 3-year CAGR of 70% and now has a $1.5 billion 18-month backlog. This energy transition will produce strong revenues and increased margins due to higher job volume. The third driver is the Intren and Henkels & McCoy acquisitions. In Q2 of 2021, MTZ acquired Intren LLC, an energy distribution contractor. This acquisition strengthens MTZ's electrical distribution segment's revenue predictability, as Intren derives 90% of its revenues from master service agreements and has a strong EBITDA margin profile. In Q3 of 2021, MTZ's electrical distribution segment reported an EBITDA margin of 9.6%, which is the highest level since 2014. The acquisition of Henkels & McCoy, which occurred in Q1 of 2022, will add the fifth largest utility contractor in the United States and strengthen MTZ's historically weak presence in the Northeast and Northwest market. Ultimately, these acquisitions add a combined $1.65 billion in revenues to the electrical distribution segment. They will expand margins over time, and they will put MTZ in an ideal position to capture the spending growth to update the U.S. electrical grid. To reach an intrinsic value for MTZ, a 5-year DCF model was created, using a terminal growth rate of 1.6% and a weighted average cost of capital of 7.83%. An intrinsic value of $128.85 was reached. A sensitivity analysis of the terminal growth rate and weighted average cost of capital of plus and minus 50 bips and plus and minus 100 bips respectively range from $101.74 to $172.93. Additionally, an enterprise value to EBITDA multiple valuation was calculated using a weighted average peer multiple of 12, resulting in a relative value of $124.81. Finally, a price to earnings multiple valuation was calculated using a weighted average PE trailing 12 months multiple of 22.8, resulting in a relative value of $117.79. By weighing these models 70, 15, 15, a price target of $126.59 was reached, representing a 42.71% upside. The firm does not pay a dividend. MTZ's first risk is revenue concentration. In Q3 2021, MTZ's top 3 customers, Enbridge, AT&T, and NextEra Energy, accounted for a combined 34% of their total revenues. An inability to maintain these major customers could have an adverse effect on their top line. The second risk is the oil and gas move. As firms transition to clean energy solutions, MTZ's oil and gas segment has seen a steady decrease in revenues. If MTZ's margin projections for other segments do not play out as expected, EPS could compress. The third risk is supply chain. MTZ's management team has shared that certain jobs have experienced delays in getting materials. Prolongment of supply chain issues could cause margins to decline. Management. Jose Mas has served as the CEO of MasTec since 2007 and has been with the firm for over 20 years. In his tenure, revenue has grown at a 16.5% CAGR and EBITDA has grown at a 21.44% CAGR. Maz holds an undergraduate and MBA degree from the University of Miami. George L. Pita is the CFO and Executive Vice President. Prior to his arrival in 2013, he held positions as CFO of Stuart Weitzman Holdings and Perry Ellis International. Of the 7 board of director positions, 5 are independent. If there are any questions about the materials presented, I would be happy to answer them via my email, michael.o'donnell@marquette.edu, and there will be a live Q&A session this Friday, February 11th, in the AIM Research Room. Also, there will be a live stream provided via the Marquette AIM YouTube channel. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.